Thank you, Karen. Nick
Least
told
I
me
can do
first.
showing up late.
We're all I'm doing is showing them my Persona 3 game on my Vita.
Ooh. Did you
Um,
add, so this isn't the one that you had wrapped up.
no, that's the sequel, Persona 4. This is Persona 3. Um, and I have 40 hours played in Persona 3. Last time I played it was 2013.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing it still runs.
This, you know, this Vita was one of the most amazing consoles ever made. I got a launch thing. It's got an OLED screen. It's just got this gorgeous screen.
Beautiful. For
It
its
is
time?
what?
I said for its time?
Not for now.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
I mean, there's glare on it, but it's just a gorgeous, gorgeous screen. I'm gonna mute it, but really nice. And I honestly, still have a bunch of games to play for it. I played the Assassin's Creed that came out for it, Liberty or something. And I played the Uncharted that came out for it.
Oh, that's a good game.
But it was a different game than Uncharted, right? It was the Vita game.
Right.
I did not play Parappa the Rapper on PSP. It's not actually a PSP, it's a Vita. So a lot of the PSP games didn't work. So actually, I promised my wife that I would keep a virtual background on, so that if she walked by in the background.
I totally get that.
So I'm finding a virtual background. I had a virtual background. Let's go with this. There we go. Okay. So let's see. Nick, have I given you a game before? No? Okay, I will give you a game. Because I'm feeling really good about everything today.
Why is that?
Because both ARGs are finished.
Ooh, how'd they go?
Really well.
Yeah. This might have to be a new thing, Dean, doing all online.
Yeah, I kind of like it.
Maybe you do
too. True. Let me find Nick a game. Purchases.
I can't put. I hate having two monitors. I like if I put my monitor over here, then I constantly.
Let's see what's in April 2018. Oh, nope. Used them all. April 2018. Let's skip to June 2018. Anything? Oh, yeah. I've been giving away a bunch of these. I might want to play.
While he's looking, have you sent him your email on?
Oh yeah, send me a private email.
Or put it in chat, private or whatever.
Yeah. July 2018. Oh, so we got some good ones here. Oh. Okay. I'm going to give you this one, Nick. Because even though part of me says I really want to play this, I now know that I'm never going to play it. Wow, there's okay here. The chat is just blowing up today.
Yeah.
Copy. Okay, so going over here. No,
They're it's just chat, nothing important so far.
Control V. Okay, Nick, you get a copy of Serial Cleaner.
Woo!
So
Nice.
the premise of this game is that uh, there was some first person shooter that happened in a space station, and whoever the protagonist was killed all the monsters and left. And now you're the guy who's been called in afterwards to clean up the space station. So you have to mop up a lot of blood and guts and gore. It's a good time. Okay, so yes, Ted Cleanly. What is all this? I want to be part of all this chat.
Just chat. It's
At
just
Nick.
chatter.
Oh, it constantly sexualizes teenagers. That's the main offense, but there's a lot of other garbage in it. The game has a good concept though, and it's fun to play. You mean Dagnaropa, not Persona.
Yeah, like they're waiting for you. They're not really talking about anything that's going on.
Okay. So what kind of stopped, yeah, Persona sexualizes teens too. Yeah. But what I found off-putting, or what finally got me to stop playing Persona, was that there's this whole system for combining personas to get better personas, and I didn't care. Like I'm not a person who's going to go find a guide, a recipe book for which exact personas to combine. So I was just like, yeah, this sounds good, and combining two personas, and I would get like this crappy, horrible persona from my two good personas. And then it's designed so that you're supposed to grind away. Yeah, or I'd spend hours in a dungeon and then die and lose all my progress and cry. Yes, that was also something. But I got to a certain point in the game where I was asking questions online and saying, I don't seem to be making any progress. I'm not sure what's going on here. And everybody's like, oh, you have to go to this build guide and research exactly what you want to do and everything. And I'm like, yeah, that seems too much like work. I don't want to do that. So everything is done. We don't have to go till 7 tonight. They solved your ARG this morning. Like I got on at like 10 a.m. And they were, let's see, my first email about your ARG came in. The winning email came in at 10:37 a.m. And I was following along in their chat. Yeah. Eddie. Go.
Is your cat playing? Did your cat get credit for playing?
I don't know. Go kill some cultists. Go download the game and click on some cultists, and we'll call it even. How's that? I thought that was quite a good finish for theirs. Reminded me of the Potato ARG, which I did not talk about. But the Potato ARG was run by Valve, um, for the launch of Portal 2. And it was months in the making, and it started off, the rabbit hole was a phone number um, that was on in some signature, or I forget where they found the phone number, but people called the phone number and got funny noises like that. Um, and then somebody dug up an old modem and called the number with a modem and connected to a circa 1987 BBS that was run by GLaDOS from Portal, who is the evil AI in that game. So lots of stuff happened. There was a big, I usually use it as a cautionary tale because the whole thing, it kept pointing to all these potatoes, and we had to do all this stuff about potatoes, and we're like, what does this have? What does this have to do with anything? And if you played Portal 2, there's a point where you're powering GLaDOS with a potato battery. So she's got a potato strapped to her. And that was a whole thing. So that's why there was a potato. But in the end, they said, so they also partnered with a whole bunch of indie games that were available on Steam. And there were all sorts of clues and like new levels. So like I remember the original Amnesia game had a whole new level that was for the Potato ARG. That if you got to the end, you got some clue towards their ARG. So they roped in all these indie games to add stuff to their game that had to do with this ARG. And so people were buying and playing all these indie games just to see Portal stuff, right? Which was kind of cool because, Valve kind of pushed business towards all these cool indie games, right? Like The Ball. I played The Ball, which is a cool Unreal Engine game where you push a giant ball around through all these puzzles, right? So anyway, the last week, right? We knew when Portal was coming out. It was supposed to come out on a Tuesday, right? Portal 2. And suddenly all the like total hardcore players, the like 10 or so people that were totally into it, and whenever they said something, everybody listened. They all disappeared. They went away. And I was a casual player in this. I just kind of checked in. I didn't really solve anything. So the hardcore players all got invited to Valve. They flew them all to Seattle to play Portal 2 in the week before Portal 2 was going to launch. Which, what a great prize. Except there was, at the climax of your ARG, they just made all their best players disappear. So all the rest of us are like, what's going on? Where'd everybody go? The guys who solve all this stuff, they don't talk anymore. What's going on? Right? And then it came down that if there was a chart that was put up online on Steam, um, of all the indie games that were part of the ARG, right? And each one had like a bar next to it, and Steam was counting how many hours of those games were being played. And we were told that if we filled up all the bars, once all the bars were filled up, Portal 2 would be released. And this was on the Friday of the weekend before Portal 2 was supposed to release. So everybody's like, instead of Tuesday, we can get it maybe Sunday, right? So like any good internet crowdsourced endeavor, everybody was like, everybody play this game. We're gonna crush this bar, right? And so everybody went and played one of these indie games, and the bar went right up and filled up, and then let's go to the next one on the list, and and after the third or the fourth one, suddenly, and this was like Friday night midnight at this point, suddenly on like the fourth or fifth one, the bar just started going and hardly moving at all, because the Valve guys weren't ever going to release Portal more than 24 hours in advance. And they saw how fast the bars were going up and did the math and said, oh my God, we're going to have to release it on Saturday at this rate. But they had never told us, they had never put a scale on the bars, right? So they could change the scale as they wished. So suddenly it slowed way down. So Steam being what it is, game players being what they are, the word went out on Saturday that we need more players. This Saturday, everyone is playing these games, right? And suddenly it's Saturday, right? So everybody came in and played, and the bar started going up again. And we got 2 or 3 more games filled up. And I think there were 12 games. And then they hit a switch, they did something, and we're pushing. And by Sunday, we couldn't make those bars move. And that's when everybody started getting really pissed, because, well, geez, you're not playing fair. You haven't told us how many hours of these games we need to play, and you're changing the goalposts on us. Monday at midnight versus Tuesday at midnight does no one any good. We still have to work in the morning, right? So why didn't you throw us a bone? We solved all your puzzles. We've been working on this for 6 months. Let us play your game over the weekend. Nope. Sorry. And they couldn't. They honestly couldn't. They had contractual obligations with retailers, because Portal 2, there was a physical version of it too, that it wouldn't release before Monday at midnight. And so if they had released it earlier, they would have been in violation of various contracts. So all this goodwill, all this anticipation, just kind of, again, the internet and toxic gamer culture being what it is, all that goodwill went out the window Everybody wanted to kill Valve, and they haven't done another ARG since. They've done little things for various sales, collectible things, but as far as I know, no real, no ARG like that. And I I went to a writers conference, and Eric Wolpaw, who was the chief writer on Portal and Half-Life 2, it was there. He was some panel, and we got to Q&A, and I was like, so the ARG, is that considered a success? Because you built up all this goodwill, and then that last weekend, not so much. And he gave me a non-answer. I was like, you ever going to do something like that again, maybe? Or is that off the table because of how it turned out? And he was like, well, we're always open to new ideas. That was a really good idea that came in with a bunch of indie games. And we were open to it. And we thought it was a success. We thought it did really well for us. We would not consider it a failure. But we have no plans at this time to ever do it again. Which says to me, yeah, maybe not so much. If you watch Showfest on Friday night, the one developer at the end, one of the last pair, Ichiro Lamb, who founded Dejabon Games, he and his writing partner Dan were, and Dan's last name evades me at the moment. I should know it, but they were part of the team that made that ARG. And they were cackling over every time I got all excited about the ARG online, because they were inside and I didn't know they were inside. And they knew that this was a thing I got very excited about. So anyway, long story long, that fairy click on things, I'm the first time I'm clicking on things, I'm like, oh God, is this going to be like the Potato ARG, and they'll adjust how fast the numbers go up based on how fast the numbers are going up, right? But if I look in there, I shouldn't be talking about theirs, but why not? Whatever. In there, what we know so far, they said at 118 or 122, they were at 709, or you guys were at 792, right? And by 151, 15 minutes later, 20 minutes later, you were at over 4,000.
Wow.
Right? So it started out with y'all thinking, oh gosh, 6,666 is this huge number. And then as soon as the crowd came in, so over 4,000 at 151, 6 minutes later, you were over 5,000. So 2 minutes later, you were over 6,000. And then less than a minute later, you had over 7,000. So
that was clicks, right?
Those were successful clicks that killed cultists. It was a Fruit Ninja game, and you had to kill the cultists. So I just liked the ramp up for that. So somebody want to tell me what happened this weekend? I was in and out. I was monitoring. Looks like people got stuck for a bit on yours and then got unstuck. What happened? You want to fill me in, Olivia?
Yeah, so things were going pretty okay on Saturday until all of a sudden one person solved a puzzle from like day 5, and it was the second puzzle in day 5, and we have no idea how they found that puzzle. It shouldn't have been accessible anywhere on the internet.
And you
Like,
were
we were
saying
supposed-
there was collusion, maybe somebody had
Yeah, we thought maybe somebody here had misunderstood the puzzle schedule and just sent them the puzzle thinking that we hadn't properly linked it, because that was a problem on one of the first days.
Yeah.
And there was just this single person who was posting the answer to this puzzle, and we could not figure out how they'd gotten access to the puzzle or where it was coming from. But because it was only one person, we just had to leave it.
Right.
You don't want to spoil it for other people by deleting comments or like break immersion like that. So we were just like, okay, I guess this one person is way ahead of the game. I think we had a couple other conversations about how we were going to send out information from that point forward, but it seems like things kind of went forward pretty smoothly from there. And people ended up finishing the ARG on time. So
right. Okay. So I'm just so you guys can't see their Discord discussion, right? But so I'm at yesterday. So let's get back to 5-9, right? They're dealing with Minecraft stuff. Okay, I was reading along when this was happening, and now it's hard to read. That's fine. That's so the Minecraft video, but that was earlier, wasn't it? They solved that.
yeah, the Minecraft video I'm pretty sure was day 3 along with the baking video.
So I'm just looking at what they're saying. I don't know. So anyway, so what happened then on Sunday, the Sunday crew got in and they were like, we don't know what to do, but it was because the Sunday puzzle had already been solved on Friday, whatever. Which then they're like, did we screw up? What's going on for Sunday? And it was because, and I even told them, I think you might have gotten a bit ahead, because just like you guys, they had people coming in each day, right? So the Sunday crew arrived, they get filled in. They're like, okay, but what do we do? And
Do you know how they found that puzzle?
I'm looking.
We could not figure it out. We were just like, I guess
Do you know who solved it?
Somebody named Rachel.
Rachel, who's one of their. She was all over it though. Let's see, Rachel. That's the videos. Okay. So but that's from yesterday. New forum post. Hey everyone, Lucy seems to be closing in on this mystery. Help her out. That's after that forum post, right? Because that's from Sunday at 11 a.m. Right? Yes.
Yeah,
okay.
that was after.
So let's go back further.
I think it was. This is the wrong set of Chrome tabs.
Okay. Wait, before I forget. Yes.
Were they supposed to have Jenny's email and password?
Us?
Your players.
Players.
We didn't have Jenny.
That
Oh.
wasn't. Oh, yeah,
That was
you're
the
looking
other
in the
ARG.
wrong forum.
I just kind of vaguely recall some discussion about, and I'll keep looking at it. Is Cletus yours or is theirs also?
No, Cletus and Jenny were both from the 4 p.m. class.
Okay. Never mind then.
Yeah, no, we got, Lucy got an email on Saturday at, I think it's 10:50 my time, so that would be 1:50 your time, saying with the answer to the day 5 puzzle, if that helps. But
Okay. So before today, I just have dates. I don't have times is the problem. Oh no, I do have times. Okay, wait. I just have to mouse over. Okay, but while I'm doing this, I'm going to ask you tomorrow, or here's I forget how I do this, because one way works and one way doesn't. So let me ask you right now, if you had to pick who your most valuable player of your ARG was, can you do that? Do you know who played your ARG the best, or who you think was all over it?
who played the other group's ARG the best from
No,
our team?
no.
Or who was the best contributing to making our ARG?
Correct. Not making your ARG, but playing your ARG.
So who from the 4 o'clock class played your ARG best?
Or who their parents or whoever played it.
Right.
That's harder for you guys to monitor. Now, here's the other question. Of the people who played their ARG in your class, could you pick a most valuable player, an MVP? Yes, no. Was there somebody who you thought was all over it? Even if it's not your class, was there? So usually there's someone who's posting in the forums, solving puzzles, and following along all 5-6 days, right? And everybody knows who that person is.
Luna responded with
Eddie's cat. No.
Avery or Aaron.
Nick, Avery, or Aaron.
And then Olivia, you agreed?
Okay. So let me just say, maybe you as a class should have this discussion between today and tomorrow. Okay. Because I want to recognize, like Avery says, I gave up after 3 days because I didn't have enough time to play, so I'm not a real MVP. So Nick, Avery sent the most message total in the other Discord. Avery is surprised by that. So I'm going to ask again tomorrow, who was the best player of their ARG. Okay. And I will give that person a prize. See, normally if we were physically in the same room, I have all sorts of swag left over from mostly PAX. I grab piles of crap. But because we're virtual, games, right? So I will be giving games to the first person who sent me the solution to each ARG. And I will I want to give a game to the most valuable player and maybe some others. Okay. So and again, I don't know if you saw my email, but I invite everyone to come at 3 p.m. to talk about your ARG. Right. So All of 4 p.m. is invited tomorrow at 3 p.m., as well as all of you. Okay. You are all invited to 4 p.m. To talk about their arc. Okay. So at 3 p.m., I will give prizes related to your ARG, because that's what we're going to talk about. And at 4 p.m., I will give prizes related to their ARG. So their MVP, their first solver, right? So obviously, if you can't make it, not terrible. It's an invite. It's not mandatory to stay till 5 tomorrow. And if we peter out on discussion at 3, we'll just switch to the 4 o'clock. Although I can't really do that, because I have invited outsiders to come at 4 o'clock to the 4 o'clock Zoom room. So at 4 o'clock, we're going to switch Zoom rooms. So let me give you the 4 o'clock Zoom room. Copy this, paste it into a notepad or something, write it down. Because this is where I'll put this out tomorrow, tomorrow's class too. But that is the 4 p.m. Zoom meeting room. Save it somewhere, and we'll click over. You'll basically do exactly what I do, which is leave this meeting and join that meeting. So yeah, paste it in the Discord, somebody, so that we can talk. And this is actually a very common thing with ARGs, because ARGs are secretive, right? You talk to characters, you don't talk to the creators, even though you talk to the creators. Things happen between the makers and the players that you want to ask, right? You want to say that when you solved the day 5 puzzle, where'd you get that, right? Right? Because I'm looking, I don't know. Rachel was a very involved player. She was working along with everybody else. She doesn't seem any more or less in the know than the rest of the crowd that was posting in the Discord. So let's ask tomorrow. And I'll moderate the conversation so that it doesn't. Some years it has gotten a tad heated, where broken puzzles went up, or I never told you this one. One year.
She did find it.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I think Rachel did find it. She went into the URL and deleted some of the stuff that was at the end of the URL and got into a folder that she might not have supposed to have been.
Passwords.
Would that make sense for you guys? If she
Yeah.
was able to get into, I don't know what happened with the puzzle. If she was able to get into an assets folder, would that have given her what you think she had in order to solve the puzzle?
Yeah, I think we intended to have it locked, but I guess didn't. So
I
that
think
makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, but it's a legit, I try that kind of stuff when I play ARGs too. So
yeah, I do too.
I think it's kind of a legit thing to do, unfortunately.
Like
yeah,
the various coded things. One of the first things I always do is shove that at the end of a URL.
Oh, cool.
So if I know everything is at SCK or SKC .org, and they give me a bunch of letters and numbers, I throw that at the end of skc.org/letters and numbers. see what comes up. There's actually, so 1 year, let me tell you this because this is a good one. 1 year there was an ARG, they did an ARG about time travel. And the gist of the ARG was that somebody's future self invented a time machine and was sending stuff back from the future to help them get an A on their MQP. Okay. And the whole thing was going to culminate when this Romanian prince came to WPI and gave a lecture about batteries, some battery innovation, right? Now, in an ARG, when you hear that a Romanian prince is coming to campus to give a lecture, you go, okay, yeah, ghosts too, or whatever, right? So this is time travel, Romanian princes, that's goofy. A real Romanian prince was coming to WPI to give a lecture on batteries. He was an engineer and a Romanian prince. So, and they saw this when they were putting together the ARG and thought, that is cool. We want to involve the Romanian prince. So their idea was to have a dead drop as part of the Romanian prince lecture, where there would be a box in the back. The lecture was going to be in Alden Hall, and there would be a box in the back of the hall with papers from the future, and they had to intercept it before it went to the kid whose MQP was going to be corrupting the timeline. But it turns out that Romanian princes have security details.
Ooh, that's good.
And security details don't like unattended packages in the same hall where a Romanian prince is going to give a talk. So the people went, I don't know, like 2-3 hours before the talk to put the package there. And there are these guys with walkie-talkies and guns saying, hey, don't, what are you doing? So they were like, oh, well, it's this on-campus game, and we were just, they told them the truth. And they're like, yeah, no, you're not. They're like, look, it's just papers. And they're like, don't care. No. So the players all went to this lecture, and really cool thing, they found a copy of the lecture. He had given it before, and so they found a copy of it online, and were sending snippets of the lecture that hadn't happened yet back from the future to the players, right? So they get there and they're like, oh my God, this is word for word what they sent us from. How did they do this, right? But there was no box, and the lecture was 2 hours long on like the Friday before finals. And so they had to sit through this whole lecture about batteries that had really nothing to do with anything. Until at the end, as they were leaving, one person from the other class ran up, shoved a box at someone, one of their players that they recognized, and ran away because they couldn't leave it. And their players were so angry because they were like, why couldn't you have done that at the start of the lecture as we were going in, so that we didn't have to sit through a 2-hour lecture about batteries? We could have gone off and done done studying. And I'm like, studying on a Friday night? Really? You're going to study? They're like, yeah, we were going to study. I'm like, really? Well, we were going to do something better than watch a 2-hour lecture about batteries. So anyway, so when that, yeah, it was educational, Eddie. And no, the prince was definitely not in on it. That was really close to getting me fired that year.
I was going to say, was that a scolding or a firing?
Yeah, there was no scolding, but if the security detail hadn't intercepted that box, things could have gone badly wrong. Or if they'd have been later and trying to plop that box in the middle of the lecture, there could have been gunplay. You don't know. So when we came to our end of term talk about it, man, the people who sat through that lecture were mad. They're like, why? It's 2 hours. Did you sit through the lecture? And they're like, no, we just went at the end. We had to sit through the lecture. We hate you. We want to kill you. So it's long story long, once again. It's my job to make sure that fisticuffs don't break out tomorrow. But honestly, I'm really impressed. This was one of the best years we've had for the ARGs of late.
Internet fisticuffs.
The internet fisticuffs, yeah. Well, yelling. I'm gonna challenge the other team to a smash battle. Yes. So I honestly think that the ARGs benefited from being online, or they benefited from y'all sitting at home not being able to like socialize with each other or your regular social circles. So you're bored, they're bored, everybody plays the ARG. ARGs have high engagement, right? This is probably the highest engagement I've seen in either ARG in the past 3-4 years, maybe longer. So I'm really impressed with both of you, both classes. You both did great. I'm sorry, and we didn't get to a full synopsis of what happened this weekend, but we'll talk about it tomorrow. Anything else? Because I'm over time. I feel like I see. Okay, I see you guys like typing, and I'm waiting for something that. Oh, you killed cultists. Good. Send me a screenshot. And you can have 10 points.
Somebody put Eddie on the playlist for today.
How do you get credit? Somebody put Eddie on the playlist. Whoever's doing the playlist. Okay. Thank you all. Come tomorrow to talk about your ARG with your players. And write your postmortems. Okay? Write your postmortems. I killed cultist earlier. Talk to whoever's writing the play reports. Who's writing the play report for today? No one knows. Shouldn't it be Logan? Logan. So Logan's doing it. Talk to Logan. Okay. I am going to stop recording. Yeah, go talk to Logan on your own time. And I will see you all tomorrow.